Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Yeah, we're going to be picking up where we left off. And right now, we have to show evidence of the truth about Satoru Hosanaga's son's real identity. So, yeah, as we learned in the previous part, this business card is actually not a waiter business card, but it's an inspector for the police business card. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree. It shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Oh, we just confused them. Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. He's still gonna be confused. Just say it's the front of the card, man. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student's trying to say? God, it's so sad, he's sweating. Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of a restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals that the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses, they're in the witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you've seen a foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Oh, he decided to come back. Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, so that's why he freaked out. Is there a problem that this added? Blah, blah, blah. Oh yes, we're on the right track now. Oh gosh, my throat cannot handle reading all this right now. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. Strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle, but I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! The salary! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to the case of a homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have been aware of this person's presence having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. So what really happened? As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim had sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. Who was this Englishwoman? How important was she? It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. I mean, then what actually happened? If it wasn't her, then who else could it be? Seriously, these games like to take you in for a loop. Take you for a ride just to get through every single point. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty research laboratory, is a young English woman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Now the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Gisele Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical faculty. What is happening here? That guy is so out of the loop now. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Huh. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we now have discovered that this premise is false. It would be a desecration of this justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other influence to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. This guy still dying on the spot. Nothing will get in my way. Well, except your lung problems. We'll adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before convening. To be continued. Wow. Oh my gosh. Things are really heating up for the courtroom. Save your progress? Yes! Yes, please. I was literally one mistake away from failing at this. Gosh, I jump ahead of myself too much, too often. And then I forget little details they tell us. Alright, 22nd, November, 11:38 a.m. The Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes were popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I may not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young woman. Thanks to the detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot came from. The waiter ran over to me looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended the suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Ah, he's back. I didn't mean to say your name in court as accused, by the way. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Loyal or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis in his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. That was a weird word to say. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-san, Sama. Defendant Naruto, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time to get back into it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old bosses know what's hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me then, I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend, coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream on studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're really up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an excellent extra large portion, of course. I do love me some food. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Alright, I think this is where we're finally going to settle it. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruto. Prosecutor Aichi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under the rather painful scrutiny from the government. Ugh, sorry. The government scrutinized, that's their job. There's nothing to worry about. Highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more crucial. It's steady political maneuvering is what will secure our future. I did not say that word right at all, but I'm rolling with it. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. Just standing here now in the Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strong. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Ooh, some strong words there. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror, you little brats. Thank you, Counsel. The court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, the trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency! Oh my gosh. Oh, Miss Swan Lady over here. How are you not? How are you? How? There's no way people would miss that. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea? Someone bring English tea in England. No discussions take place without tea. Oh my gosh. Is that true? These Englophiles here. No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Oh my gosh, these guys are really soft-spotted for this lady. Of course. My name is Sawatoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival. Yes, we all know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, what are your matters? In England, it's always lady serves. Oh my gosh, the poor guy. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Exactly. All he said was a woman, and she's wearing swan everything. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but your powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty, yeah. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Oops, not allowed to see her eyes, I see. She is... I can't understand her. Everyone's at a pause here. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? Oh, he's speaking to her. I guess this is English, isn't it? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMay University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you say, but it was as beautiful as hummingbird songs. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English class, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? A little translation. Telephone it all the way back to him. She says, yes. Oh gosh, that was so much talking for just yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She would like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape, I was just following special orders from the bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? She's just gonna blame me, isn't she? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes. It would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Alright, well, we gotta look for some contradictions now. Order in the courtroom. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Oh, a little bit of telephone back and forth. Alright, witness testimony. A frightful and sorrowful sight. Alright, well, this is where we're going to end this part here. I let the last part go a little long because I keep trying to find a good place to stop. I have to make sure I take the first chance I get. So, if you guys are enjoying that, be sure to let me know. And whether you enjoy this game or played the old 3DS version. And what improvements they made over it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.